I bet you didn't know the intricacies of global diplomacy. Welcome to Gedankenfabrik Thought Factory. Today we're diving into the top 10 ongoing events in international relations and diplomacy. We're talking about the stuff that keeps ambassadors up at night, the issues that have entire think tanks buzzing. So strap in, grab your notebooks, and get ready for some serious geopolitics. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The US-China trade war is a pivotal event in international relations. It's about two superpowers flexing their economic muscles. Decades of economic entanglement suddenly thrown into chaos. Manufacturing hubs in China feeling the heat. American consumers seeing prices rise. It's about global influence and technological dominance. China's rise challenging US dominance. Political ideologies clashing like cymbals in a death metal concert. Brexit. Remember that time Britain decided to pull a Houdini and disappear from the European Union? Yeah, well, the after-party is still going strong, and it's messier than a college dorm room after a weekend bender. The political fallout has been insane, with prime ministers dropping like flies and the very fabric of British society being stretched thinner than my patience during a Karan Johar movie marathon. And the impact? Forget about it. We're talking economic uncertainty, trade negotiations that would make your head spin faster than a Beyblade on Red Bull, and enough political drama to make House of Cards look like a children's puppet show. Next up, we're jetting off to a region that's been hotter than a vindaloo in a sauna, the Middle East. For decades, the world has been trying to solve this Rubik's Cube of a conflict, with more twists, turns, and dead ends than a Christopher Nolan film. You've got Israel and Palestine, locked in a struggle that seems as ancient as the pyramids. Throw in religious tensions, political instability, and enough proxy wars to make even Machiavelli blush, and you've got a recipe for, well, pretty much the situation we see today. It's a complex issue, guys, one that requires a whole lot more than just a 5-minute segment on YouTube. Chapter 4. North Korea's nuclear program, Kim Jong-un's not-so-subtle fireworks show. Now let's talk about North Korea. This country is like that uninvited friend who juggles live grenades. Their nuclear program has everyone on edge. From South Korea and Japan to the US. Kim Jong-un, not exactly known for his chill demeanor, he loves his missiles more than Kanye loves Kanye. Chapter 5. Russia-Ukraine conflict. More than just a border dispute, comrade. All right, let's be real. The situation in Ukraine is like that awkward family dinner where your drunk uncle starts yelling about politics, and everyone else is just trying to finish their food and get the hell out of there. You've got Russia flexing its muscles and annexing Crimea like it's just another Tuesday. And then there's the whole separatist movement in eastern Ukraine, which is basically a proxy war by any other name. This is about power, influence, and the future of Europe, my friends. And trust me, nobody wants to see this escalate into something even crazier. Chapter 6. Climate change agreements. Can we stop this train wreck, please? Alright, time for a serious topic, folks. Climate change, it's real, it's here, and it's scarier than a clown holding a chainsaw. We're talking melting ice caps, rising sea levels, and enough natural disasters to make even Roland Emmerich say, okay, that's a bit much. The good news is, countries are finally starting to take this seriously, with international agreements like the Paris Climate Accord. The bad news? Getting everyone on the same page is like herding cats. Especially when you've got countries like the US dragging their feet like a teenager being forced to go to school on a Monday morning. Chapter 7. India-Pakistan relations. Can't we all just get along? Spoiler, probably not. Now let's talk about my hood, shall we? India and Pakistan. Two nuclear-armed neighbors with a history that's more complicated than a Bollywood love triangle. We're talking partition, wars, terrorism, and enough political baggage to fill a Boeing 747. And the Kashmir issue? Forget about it. That's like the third rail of Indo-Pak relations. Touch it and you're toast. Look, I could spend hours talking about this, but let's just say it's a relationship that's always on a knife edge, and the world watches with bated breath every time things start to heat up. Chapter 8. South China Sea. Disputes? This ain't your average water park, guys. Alright, let's head over to the South China Sea, where things are about as peaceful as a mosh pit at a Metallica concert. You've got China, claiming pretty much the entire sea as its own personal swimming pool, much to the annoyance of its neighbors like Vietnam, the Philippines, and Malaysia. And let's not forget about the US, sailing its warships through those waters like they're auditioning for a Top Gun sequel. This is all about strategic importance, access to resources, and those sweet, sweet shipping lanes. So yeah, keep an eye on this one, folks. Chapter 9. US-Iran Relations. It's complicated. Understatement of the century. Next up, we're heading to the Persian Gulf, where the US and Iran have been locked in a stare-down for decades. It's like that scene in a Western movie where the two cowboys walk into the saloon and everyone else is just waiting to see who draws first. You've got sanctions, threats, and enough military hardware in the region to make even Tony Stark jealous. And then there's the whole nuclear deal, which the US pulled out of like a bad Tinder date. It's a tense situation, guys, and one wrong move could send shockwaves through the entire region. Chapter 10. Global Refugee Crisis, the Human Cost of Conflict. And finally, let's talk about an issue that's close to my heart, the global refugee crisis. We're talking about millions of people forced to flee their homes due to war, persecution, and violence. From Syria to Myanmar, Venezuela to Afghanistan, the scale of human suffering is staggering. And let's be honest, the international community's response has been, well, less than stellar. We need to do better, guys. We need to show compassion, provide assistance, and find lasting solutions for these vulnerable populations. Outro, stay informed, stay woke. So there you have it, folks. The top 10 ongoing events in international relations and diplomacy. It's a crazy world out there, but hey, at least it's never boring, right? Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Gedanken Fabric Thought Factory.